All right, hi everybody. Today we gonna make some fried chicken. Since our first stream we didn't save the video and the first half of the video didn't have audio anyway, we're gonna kind of go through safety, handling chicken, stuff like that, how to not get salmonella. We're going to start cutting our vegetables for stock. We don't have to make these, perfect. We don't have to really worry about anything other than just kind of getting them smaller. They're just going to go in a pot and get boiled down anyway. We really just want all this stuff for flavor. So we're just gonna keep doing rough cuts on our veg. Like I said, I rinsed all these veggies ahead of time. You always want to make sure to rinse your veggies. Get all that dirt and grime and all that shit off there. Now we're just going to grab our stock pot. Get all our carrots in there. We're going to start cutting our celery. Like I said, just rough chop. Not really important. We can cut the very end of this off. Get that kind of dirty bit off there. Just throw that away. Remember, like I said, try and make it as easy as possible on yourself. Keep everything as close to yourself as possible. Cut that bottom bit off. And then get our celery in here. We're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do fried chicken tonight. We're gonna do a little bit of, we're gonna make some chicken stock and we're gonna make some gravy for some mashed potatoes. Cut the ends. Cut that off like that. There's that little kind of poopy part right there that I don't really want, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Like I said, when you're making stock, you can use your ends, you can use the skins, it doesn't really matter. We're filtering all this stuff out anyway. I'm not really worried about stock clarity or anything like that. Like, I know a lot of professional chefs are all about having that perfect stock and keeping everything as clear as possible. I mean, you don't really need to worry about that, just doing stuff at home. Meals on wheels. Exactly. How's it going, Iceman? How's everything sounding? Everything good? Can you hear me? I'm doing good. I am doing good. I'm just, like I said, getting everything started for our stock. Like I said, more traditionally, you let stocks go overnight, but we're just going to make a real quick veg stock, chicken stock. Now, one thing you want to do is, at least give your cutting board a wipe down with a wet cloth in between vegetables. For instance, like we got onion skins, just kicking it. How you doing, JL? I thought you weren't going to make it tonight. Now we're going to start cutting our potatoes. Or actually, first we're going to peel our potatoes. We're using russet potatoes, so you always want to peel them before you boil them for mash. Or not. Like, it really just depends on what your preference is. Now these are the best damn peelers I've ever used. This is what 90% of everyone I've ever worked with uses. Like I said, we're just going to get those skins off. Things worked out differently than you thought. How's it going, J Squared? How are you doing? Like I said, we're just peeling, we're just getting as much of that skin off as possible. If you got a little bit left on there, like a little bit in the eyes and stuff like that, no big deal. Thanks, Lags. I appreciate it. No, it's like I said, using gloves. It's one of those things that personally I like to do a lot. 90% of the time when you're working in a restaurant or any sort of business that handles food, you're wearing gloves, and it's not a bad practice to follow at home. I'm not too concerned about cross contamination with potatoes, but it's just a habit that I got in for almost a decade, and it's just handy thing. Plus, I mean, you keep gloves around the house, you can paint with them, you can clean with them, you can do pretty much whatever you want with them. So one thing I want to urge everyone to do is definitely check out the Discord link. I've been actually really bad about posting stuff in Discord until like the last minute. The past couple weeks especially, I've been super busy. But go in there. You can post, pictures of your own food. You can, discuss what you want to see. Like, I really want to hear feedback from you guys to see, what exactly it is you might want to learn or might want to, see in the future. Plus, you can put the gloves on the side of your... Yeah, it still hurts a little bit when you nick yourself with the peeler, but I've actually never broken skin with one of these peelers, which is crazy because they're actually really sharp. Hi, Ravenwood. How are you doing? Yeah, these potatoes are kind of weird. They're just laid out all sorts of wonky. I'm doing good. Like I said, past couple weeks have been super busy. But at the same time, it's still been like really nice because I'm at the end of the week, you know, I get to kind of look forward to doing this and hanging out with friends, and it makes Cakes really happy when I do this because then she gets to eat food. Uncle Stinky, you're back. How are you doing today? I'm going to grab a couple more potatoes. Fried chicken is the next thing you're going to try and perfect. You know, I've done fried chicken. I actually did fried chicken most every Saturday this summer. And it was one of those things, it just tweaked it every time. If you look in the... Twitch is weird. I'm sorry, I can't bring it. Suicidaholic, how are you doing? But yeah, like I said, I still made tweaks like every time I made chicken. Normally I would let it, you know, marinate in some buttermilk overnight with a ranch seasoning packet in there. I know that sounds weird, but it made really good, like, buttermilk fried chicken. Today we're just going to do an egg wash, and we're just going to season the hell out of our flour. Ranch is good on all things. So, J squared, there are 4 mother sauces. Is it 4 mother sauces or 5 mother sauces? I think it's 4, 5. I don't, see, this is where I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. I never went to culinary school. But, so we're going to say 4. There's 4 mother sauces that are the base for most all sauces in culinary. For chicken masala, that sounds good. So we always joke that we would always joke in the kitchen that ranch is the stepmother sauce to all the mother sauces. You know, Uncle Stinky, pretty much anyone who uses ranch like that is a pro. So, Uncle Stinky, what's your chicken masala recipe? Like, what do you normally go through with your chicken masala? All right, we're just gonna don't need the peeler no more. Throw that right in the sink. Dip this out. So, Suicide, how's the new house been? I feel like a total piece of shit that I haven't been out there yet. But like I said, I've been super busy. But I will make it out there one of these days. Quiet. I imagine living out in the country is not exactly too eventful. All right. So now we are going to start breaking down chicken. Well, actually, no, first we're going to cut up our potatoes. Like I said, perfection is not necessary, because we're gonna mash these up. So you can just do a quick rough cut. Fry parts, add stock, masala, and veggies, simmer, make noodles. Hell yeah, that sounds delicious. I haven't had chicken masala in a really long time, and I'm going to be 100% honest, I don't think I've ever even made chicken masala. So, what are your thoughts on smashed versus mashed versus whipped? So, actually, funny enough, tonight we're actually going to do whipped potatoes. Just because I don't feel like mashing them. But they all have their own unique qualities. I used to do a smashed Yukon potato with lemon, butter, garlic, and Parmesan on top. And so I would boil them off, smash them, add everything on top, and then finish them in the oven. And those are really good. The only problem with those is it's really hard to get the flavor to seep all the way through. As far as actual mashed potatoes, it's hell on your arms, and it's a pain in the ass. But I like having that little bit of chunk in there. You know, it's more rustic, it's more home style. It reminds me more of mom's potatoes, you know. And then as far as whipped goes, whipped are by far the easiest because there's not much you gotta do to them except for, you know, put them in whatever you're whipping. You know, in your KitchenAid or your food processor, whatever. It's easier that way by far, and I think everything gets blended together way better. But, you know, each one has their virtues. Tonight we're going to be doing a whipped potato. I know this pan is overkill for potatoes, but oh well. Alright, I'm not going to quite turn those on just yet. I'm going to hit those with a pinch of kosher salt. Remember, always kosher salt, always. We're going to give the cutting board another wipe down, get some of that starch off there. How's everybody's day going? I had a pretty relaxed day today. It was nice. Kind of just woke up and hung out and didn't do a whole hell of a lot. Alright, now before we start this, I'm going to get a drink of my tasty beverage. Hungry now. J Squared, like I said, I'm going to try and be better about posting everything on Discord and having, try to get ahead of everything and try to, you know, have everything plotted out like a week or two in advance. Iceman, nice, other than the raging fires happening around me. Where are you at, Iceman? Are you in NorCal? Because if you're in NorCal, my thoughts are with you. Shit was bad here in Montana this summer too. Like there was a huge chance that a couple towns were going to get wiped off the map this summer. Now before we start the chicken, I'm just gonna give this a quick, hone this up real quick. How's it going, Yuki? I know, I'm sorry about the gloves. So sorry. It's good to have you, though. Now, I'm opening the chicken in the sink just because there's a lot of, juices and blood that can get everywhere, and I don't necessarily want that to get everywhere. Chicken's one of those animals that you got to make sure you cook it properly. You got to handle it properly. Cross-contamination is a real thing with chicken. You see I'm bringing it back over with something to catch the blood. So the thing about chicken is you got to be very careful about cross-contamination, stuff like that. Salmonella is a real thing, and if you've ever had salmonella, you know what I'm talking about. So this is our chicken. If you tuned into the first stream, you know that we did do chicken and how to break it down, but you'll also know that I forgot to turn my sound on, and I forgot to save the video. So we're going to kind of run through breaking down a chicken again. Now they give you the chicken, get giblets and everything like that. We're just going to throw that right in the stock. And then the neck right here, we're just going to dip our knife in, cut through the bone. And take that out. We're going to throw that right in the pot. Flipping the bird, hell yeah. So, as far as breaking down chicken goes, I like to start with the legs and thighs. So, we come in and just make a cut in the skin right there. Make a cut in the skin right there. And that kind of opens it up. And if you feel back behind here, you'll feel two joints where they come together. And we're just going to pop those out of their joints. And then we're going to come in with our knife and cut. Now you got your leg and thigh portion. And so, the thing with your leg and thigh is there's another joint right here. You can kind of feel it. When you move it around, you can feel that. So we're going to cut right through that joint. And like I said, I recommend having a very nice, not a very nice, you don't have to go out and spend $150, $200 and up for a nice chef knife. This is a $40 chef knife. It's the same German steel as like Messermeister or Wusthof or Henkel's, but it's $40. Same thing. It's a really good investment. So now you got your thigh and your leg, and we're just going to do that again over here. Find that joint, cut right through it, and then boom. Ew, Vegasaurus is piecing out for a bit. Sorry, Lindsay. All right. So now onto the wings. So this right here, this whole bit is the wing. Here's your little wing drumlet right here. Here's your little T-bone, and then wing tip. What I like to do is you can kind of just break the wing tip out of its joint and then cut right through there. So we'll do that on both sides. Just kind of bend the opposite way. We're going to throw those wing tips in the stock pot. Now I'm going to hold this right here. And I'm going to come up And there's a joint right here, and I'm gonna pop that wing right off the joint. And now we got a nice clean wing bone. I'm gonna do that on the other side. Again, nice clean wing bone. Now there's two reasons why I do this. One, it's just nice to get rid of some of that cartilage. It's still in the wing, but that's fine. The other reason I do it is if we were to French this breast, which not lick raw chicken, that's gross and will make you sick. It makes it a whole lot easier to clean up that bone, and I'll run through that with you real quick. So now that we're gonna cut the breasts off, you'll feel the spine right down here. So there's a spine that separates the two sides of the breast, and we're just gonna kind of follow that with our knife and cut right down the center. And then, as you can see, I'm kind of following the bones in there to find where I'm going to cut. I'm just going to cut right up against the bone. And there's another joint right in here. I'm just going to lay my knife down, push, and we're through that joint. Now you got to be careful because sometimes part of the wishbone likes to come with it. So you can literally just peel that part of the wishbone right out. And then this bit right here, this is actually the chicken tender. This is the tenderloin of the chicken, and we're going to cut that out. So now you got a chicken tender. So now, if I were going to just sear this chicken breast, we have this wingtip here now. And, it's not very attractive, or, it doesn't look that fancy. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to literally hold this like this, and very gently, I'm just going to kind of twist very carefully and cut around the bone. And then I'm going to peel that little bit of stuff off. And then now you have a French chicken bone. And this is what they call an airliner breast. This is, typically what you'll get when you order a chicken breast at a local restaurant or anything like that. So now I'm just going to make my second cut on this breast. I'm going to cut the tender out of this one. And a lot of times the tender will just pull right out. And I'm not going to bother Frenching this one. We're just going to throw the carcass. We've pretty well cleaned a lot of the useful stuff off there. We're just going to throw that right in there. And I'm going to pop out of these gloves and get this going. So now when you're filling your stock pot with your bones and everything in there, you want to make sure that the water covers your bones. I'm going to grab another tasty beverage. I have a serious problem with LaCroix, or La Croix. Now we got that filled up, we're just gonna kick this on high. Like I said, we're not really worried about stock clarity or anything like that, so we're gonna just try and get a real nice stock out of that. We're gonna move our strainer over to the sink. And then glove back up. Lindsay, I think you're good to come back now. No more breaking of animals is happening. All right, we're just gonna kick our potatoes on medium heat. Let those go for a minute. I'm going to move our chicken over ever so slightly. We're gonna start working on our egg wash. Now it doesn't matter, you can use brown eggs, you can use green, well, don't use green eggs. Brown eggs, white eggs, doesn't matter. We're just gonna start cracking eggs. I'm gonna do 5 eggs tonight. I think 5 eggs will get us where we need to go. And again, as far as salmonella goes, same thing. Chicken eggs, raw chicken eggs. You can get salmonella from those as well, so you want to be careful. I'm just gonna hit our egg wash with a little salt. You don't have to do that. I mean, I like to season everything. Now I'm going to come over here. Now you can use a whisk, you can use whatever you want. I'm just going to use a fork real quick. And you notice how I'm leaning this together and I'm beating with the fork up against the container. It just kind of helps whip and incorporate everything a little bit better. Like I said, for any of you that have Discord, there is a link below into my Discord. If you want to see something that I haven't done, or you want to see something in the future, or you just want to put in general input on the stream, just go in there, throw it up in general. You want to post some of your own food porn, just post that, your food porn here. Like I said, I'm gonna try and get ahead on my menus so that with actual full grocery lists, so that if you want to cook along, if something sounds good and you want to cook along, then you can pick up the stuff yourself and you can just cook along. Like I said, I got my laptop set up over here to check out chat, so if you have any questions, anything like that, just hit me up. And I will answer as soon as I can. Get rid of some of that stuff. I'm just gonna go over and wash my hands. It's never a bad idea. Like even when you're using gloves, make sure to keep washing your hands. Like I said, cross-contamination is a real thing. It sucks. Food poisoning sucks. Salmonella sucks. It all sucks. You just gotta be real careful when you're cooking, especially any sort of fowl. That includes like raw turkey, grouse, anything like that. You want to make sure that you're keeping everything super clean. How's everybody's weekends going? Anybody done anything fun this weekend or this week, or anything fun and exciting coming up? Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and set our chicken bits into the egg wash. Let them kind of soak up the egg. The age-old question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And we're just going to grab our stuff over here. Remember, like I said, clean as you go. Clean as much as you can as you go. It makes life a whole lot easier. And especially with chicken, lots of soap, the hottest water that you can possibly stand. You don't want to get sick or get anyone else sick, because that's just not fun. Oh yeah, that's hot. I don't know what it is, or the Eggman. I definitely didn't come first. I definitely did not come first. I don't know necessarily what it is about it. I need to clean the house first. So I don't know what it is about chicken that is so much more likely. It's poultry altogether. Like, in a nutshell, I think it's squab is the only like poultry like bird that you can serve under 165 degrees. I don't know what it is. That might be something worth Googling. Uncle Stinky, so there's a lady food streamer that lives near me. She's requested that she come over to my house and I cook for her. She'll stream it. I need to clean the house first. I know that's, luckily for me, Cakes Riley is a very amazing person, and she likes a very clean house because I'm kind of a messy person. And so when the kitchen looks good on stream, 99% of the time it's because of her. That is very possible. I just think it's one of those proteins that you can't fuck around with it. Like, it has to be that way. And so we have everything moved over. Again, like I said, clean as you go, and especially when you're working with chicken, you want to make sure that every time you're kind of done, you want to sanitize and clean as much as possible. Cakes is the Rileyest person I know. She is. She's pretty Riley. She can get pretty Riley. So Stinky, do you cook professionally, or is it just a passion of yours, something you're kind of self-taught? Is it something that you really just enjoy doing? There's a rogue pea. Rogue peas are terrible. Do you know what happens when there's a rogue pea? Because I sure don't know. Somebody needs to tell me. If I gotta be afraid of something, somebody let me know. Alright, so right now, I'm gonna start getting my flour ready. I'm just loading up a pan with flour. Like I said, in my case, I'm using gluten-free flour. Just a home cook. Most of my stuff is good, but sometimes it's only just edible. Dude, that's kind of the fun thing about cooking, though. Like, it's trial and error every time. Like I said, I probably made fried chicken at least 100 times this summer, and it's still like, you know, you dial it in every time you do it, just like every little bit. You're just like, oh, you know, I should tweak this next time. So you do. And then you tweak, you know, it's like, oh, you know, that's really good, but it would be better with this too. And then you just kind of keep building. And that's the fun thing. And so, like I said, you know, personally, I really like using a ranch packet, but I couldn't find a dairy-free ranch packet. So I'm just using kind of a blend of some other seasonings that smelt good. If you, like I said, I'm experimenting right now. Something just completely different. Pretty much the Surefire is what I have listed below. I would, but I can't. I gotta keep it dairy free, and a lot of those have like milk powder in them, so I just can't use it. This smells delicious, so I'm gonna hit it with that. Like I said, the spices and everything that I have listed below, those are like gonna make you a surefire good chicken. And I know it seems like I'm using a lot here, and that's because I am. Excuse me, the flour eats up a lot of flavor, so you really gotta heavily season everything. And you know, just for shits and grins, I'm gonna hit it with some garlic powder. Now, J-Squared, what you could do, and this is actually really fucking good, is when you're making your mashed potatoes, throw a ranch packet or two in that. Like I said, we're just going to start hand sifting this. Oh my god, it already smells good. JL, you're not J-Square's dad. Don't tell him what to do. If he wants to put a ranch packet in his mashed potatoes, then he can. And I'm not fucking around. I've done it before, and it's super good. Oh, do it, J-Squared. I thought you told him not to do it. Well, either way, you're not his dad. That's my bad. I'm sorry I snapped at you. Not my bad. I'm just gonna hit it with a little more, just because I can. Just because it's fun. Like I said, this is pretty much the whole part of cooking that I really love. I mean, it's just experimenting. It's having fun, doing what you want to do. No one telling you that you can't or you won't or anything like that. Just fucking do it. Like, if you want to do it, just do it. Let me hit it with some more salt. And like I said, if you have any questions of where to like actually find any of these ingredients, like, you know, kosher salt's one of those ones not a lot of people know about or know where to find it. Most grocery stores have it. You just gotta look for it. You know, you might have to hit some specialty stores. I'm just gonna grab some of that. Give it a sniff. Oh, fuck, it smells so good. I am your father. Damn it! Well, now everybody knows that JL is J Square's dad. Which is really weird because JL is looking, you know, really good for someone, you know, of that age. Alright, we got our seasoning made up. Check on our stock, see our stocks are not quite rolling yet, so we're gonna let that go. Gonna let that keep going. Give the nose an itch. Move that back behind there. Now this is the day that's gonna get really interesting because I'm gonna have all my big pots on the stove at the same time. JL, drag it. Dude, are you a T1 or a T2? JL, like, you just gotta let me know. Are you like the friendly Arnold that I can hang out with? Or are you like the, what's his name? God, what's his name? He was in the X-Files too, except for he was the T2 in T2. So now what I'm doing is I'm using canola oil because it's cheap, and we're gonna use a lot of it. When you're deep frying at home, it's kind of expensive, but we're gonna, once this oil cools, I'm gonna filter it, and we're gonna reuse it for frying stuff. But it does take quite a bit of oil to deep fry at home. Later, Uncle Stinky. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, you know, we can make it so you can stick around a little bit later next time. I tried to start a little bit earlier, but maybe one day, maybe one Sunday we'll do an all-day stream. Just like do breakfast, lunch, dinner. Alright, I'm going to set that at medium, let that oil start heating up. JL's a T1000. Okay, you can be my friend. I trust you. Oh, I'm going to finish my tasty beverage. Like I said, anyone from LaCroix that is tuning in, I drink a bunch of your product. So send me free stuff. Alrighty, while we're waiting for this stuff to kind of finish up and get going and all that fun stuff, I am actually going to step off to the side for a second, run and check on some things. Now, I was kind of thinking... JL, were you feeling under the weather and I did not know about it? Because that would be severely unfortunate. I'll bring you over some chicken broth. It'll help. One of the things I was kind of thinking about that would be kind of fun is if we can reach 50 followers by the end of the year, which I know isn't that long, but if we can do it, if we can hit that mark at 50 followers, then I will actually write everybody's name down, little strips of paper, draw from a hat or from a bowl, and that person I will personally send a chef knife. It won't even be one of mine. Well, I mean, it could be one of mine. But I feel like having a new freshie is always fun. Can't. Oh shit. Well, that's something... Gonna be out of town for the next week and a half. Where are you going? J Squared, I will try and fix that Discord link tonight. I will personally, if you whisper me your email address, I will send you the link personally, and then I'll get that fixed in OBS. JL, I will bring you some blah blah blah. Actually, while we're waiting for all this, J Squared, I'm just gonna pop in the other room real quick, and I'm gonna see if I can get that fixed for you. Thank you, JL, for doing that. JL, I'm going to bring you some chicken stock, just to sip on, because it's going to be good for you. J Squared, if you want to try the Discord link again, I'm pretty sure that I fixed it. At least I hope I did. Just let me know if it works for you. Or if anybody wants to try the Discord link, that would be great. Alright, oil's kind of starting to heat up. The thing about cast iron is it takes a long time for things to heat up in cast iron. Chicken stock is not quite rolling yet. Awesome, perfect, it works. I fixed it, and I didn't even have to run to jail for help. Booyah! Alright, I'm going to crack open another beverage. This time we're going for tangerine. Does anybody else in stream drink the LaCroix? Or the La Croix? Or however you want to pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced like 10 different ways, so. All right, if you do drink it, what's your favorite flavor and why? Me personally, the watermelon. Ooh, I haven't tried the watermelon one. I usually shy away from watermelon flavored things because they don't quite get it right, and I absolutely love watermelon, like actual watermelon. But I think right now I'm really digging on the tangerine. I know, JL, he's blowing minds right now. He's blowing minds. Alright, we're going to kick the heat up on that a little bit. Yeah! Pamplemousse is a close second, I gotta admit. Like, as a kid, Squirt was one of my favorite sodas, and it's vaguely reminiscent of that. It's for the win. Alright, I'm gonna have to try that, J Squared. Next time you see me on stream, I will be drinking a kiwi watermelon. Oh, those ones come in the little baby cans. Right? They're not the 12 ounces, they're like the 8 ounces. Now here's an easy way to check your oil. Drop a little flour in there, and if it doesn't bubble up right away, then you're not ready. It's not hot enough yet. Now what I also didn't mention is that I have the oven preset to 350, preheated, ready to go. If you try to fry the chicken all the way in the oil, it's not going to cook all the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a nice golden brown fry on it, and then we're going to go onto a rack in the oven and finish it in the oven. And like I said, if we can, I'm trying to think of some fun things that we can do on stream as far as, you know, when we get donations or new follows or anything like that. So, like I said, follow the Discord, drop me a line in Discord, you know, tell me what you think would be fun, what would be, you know, something interesting to see, anything like that. Just let me know. We'll figure it out. I'm open to all opinions. To draw foodstuffs? I am a terrible artist. I cannot draw worth a shit. JL did do my logo. JL actually did my whole layout. Which was very kind of him. I actually need to get a link to JL's Twitch in my in the links below. We need to get that figured out so that people can actually go like check out his artwork and the Oneshi Press stuff, and like if they're looking for layouts or anything like that, they can commission him. Yes, he is a very good man. He tries to play it off like he's not, but he is. All right. He really is. The guy has a heart of gold. We're just gonna give now an easy way to check to see if your potatoes are done. Grab them with a set of tongs. Just give them a squeeze. If they don't mush in, they ain't ready. And just for shits and grins, let's go ahead and start rolling our chicken in some flour. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to coat, give it a quick light coat, set it aside, and we're going to do that for all of our pieces. Just give it a quick coat, set it aside. Quick coat to the side. Now, as far as chicken goes, what's your favorite A, way to eat chicken, and B, favorite piece of chicken? Now, a lot of people only like white meat, so you know they're a big fan of the breast. Me personally, I'm a bigger fan of the thigh. Got our tenders. Thighs and chickens and dumplings. Yep, that's what it is. Or at least for me anyway. That's my favorite by far. Alright, like I said, we're just giving these a quick once over. And then we're actually going to go back in to the egg. And then give that another coating. Twice dipped fried chicken. I'll set that off to the side. I like either. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I do like both. I do like white meat and I do like dark meat. That's why I kind of feel like the thigh is the kind of in between. It's lighter, but not so dark. Alrighty. I'm gonna hurry up and try to get this finished up. Get the dipping done. And if you guys have any questions about recipes or anything like that, like I said, you know, I kind of go off my mind, but I have a general idea of what I'm doing and, you know, how much I'm using and all that stuff. So if you want any recipes, anything like that, just hit me up and I'll send you. I'll whisper it to you, or, you know, if you want to whisper me your email address, I'll email it to you. I agree, Stinky. Like, the thing about the breast is, I feel like it doesn't hold that much flavor. That's why I like keeping the bone in. If you keep the bone in, you get a little bit more flavor from the bone. But nothing beats, like, you know, you're outside barbecuing, you got a good marinade going on, you're just kicking it with your friends. I mean, I feel like that's the key to chicken breast, is you gotta marinate ahead of time. You gotta let all those juices soak in, and if you brine it beforehand, that's when it gets really good. Now we're just going to take a little piece of our egg and batter. We're going to dip it in our oil. Not quite hot enough yet. It is boiling, but it's not quite hot enough yet. Alright, now we just kind of have all of our pieces ready to get dunked. If you got any leftover flour, you can sift some flour on parts that are looking a little dry, or not dry necessarily, but unfloured. Now, what I really like is brining turkey breast and then smoking it. Just low and slow smoke on it. There's nothing quite better. We're just going to turn the heat down on our stock a little bit and just you see it's rolling, it's ready to go. You don't want to get water in your oil because then it's going to splash up and get everywhere, and that's never fun, getting oil burns. But this is rolling pretty good. We're just going to let it keep rolling. Put a lid on it. We can kick the heat up on our taters a little bit. Going to give these another squeeze. Not quite ready yet. Still pretty tough. Wash those off real quick. That's the one thing I really wish I had, was a smoker. Like a real nice, like, good outdoor smoker. I'd be smoking everything. Smoked chicken, smoked turkey, smoked meats, beef, pork, whatever. Smoked ribs. Ooh, fuck, smoked ribs. Alright, oil's still not quite hot enough yet, so we're just going to kind of let that go. As you can see here, I'm starting to kind of get my ingredients ready for my whipped potatoes, I guess I should say, not mashed potatoes. Using a dairy-free sour cream, some dairy substitute buttery sticks. Like I said, everything I'm doing right now, you know, obviously I'm using gluten-free flour, dairy-free dairy stuff. You can use dairy. I'm showing you with the stuff that I have to use, but you can use regular butter, regular sour cream, and it's going to work pretty much exactly the same way, if not better. Alrighty, and as we're waiting for that to heat up, I'm going to step off to the side one more time. Alrighty. And turn that down just a little bit more. We'll take one of our crispy bits out, give it a taste, give it a test. We're getting there, not quite close. But damn, that tastes good. That is A-okay. I think what we're going to do here is check our potatoes. Not quite there yet. And kick the heat up on those a little bit. And if you notice me going back and forth between the potatoes and the oil with the tongs, not that big of a deal. The oil's going to cook anything off. So, like I said, we're not quite there yet. As far as heat on the oil, so we're going to kick that up another little bit. We're just going to let that stock keep going. We want to get a nice flavorful stock. We want to get as much of that as possible. Actually, we're going to kick that up to medium high on the oil. Let that heat up for a second. And while I do that, I'm going to get my blender set up. I splurged the other week and I got myself a whole Ninja kitchen setup. Really nice. So this is kind of the mixing bowl. I'm going to use this to make the mash. It's got just, these aren't blades, it's just plastic blades. Just throw that in there. Lock that in, get it ready. Turn the stock down a little bit more. Got that kicked down on low. We're just going to let that keep going. You can tell it's kind of starting to get that nice color in there. We're really starting to get everything we need from the chicken. Let that go slow and low. Dude, I agree, J Squared. Like I said, in my first stream, I kind of showed you just the little food processor. I got that like 5-6 years ago, and I've like beat that thing to hell, and it's still rolling, and it's a great little machine. That's why I went with it. There's other more professional. I'm just checking the temp on the oil. We're We're up to 300, so we should be good. We should be good to go. So the reason I went with the Ninja is because that is a good thought, Stinky. I actually haven't tried anything like that before. That might be something interesting to try out. But the reason I went with the Ninja is there's the go-to blender in the kitchen is the VitaPrep, and that thing's like $1,200, $1,500. And then the go-to food processor is a RoboCoo, again $1,200, $1,500. I had, the Ninja was $150, so it's right now I'm just kind of swishing this around, letting this letting the outside kind of cook a little bit before I drop it in, so it doesn't just lose all the batter. And so, but it came with a mixing bowl, it came with the blender, and it came with little smoothie cups, like with a blade attachment. So it's kind of an all-in-one thing, and I'm really enjoying it. And so I just dropped my wings in. I'm going to do my tenders. Maybe I can get a leg in there too. We're just going to let those fry up, get crispy. Potatoes are finally kind of starting to get there. Like I said, you just, best way to test it is to grab it and pinch. It's still got some rigidity to it, so we're going to let those keep going. Just kind of moving stuff around in here. Starting to get crispy, starting to get there. Needs to go a little bit longer though. And while we're doing that, I'll put together our bake rack. Today I'm just going to use a broiler pan. The base of the pan, slotted top, just sits in like that. That way all the grease flows down, doesn't stay getting all messy and just staying greasy. It everything just kind of drips down. It's a lot nicer to use. And then this is the fun part. This is pretty much just the hurry up and wait. Just about every cooking process has, something like this, where you just gotta hurry up and wait for everything. We're just going to let those cook up, crispen up a little bit more. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Anything like that? Now the other thing is you don't want to overcook your potatoes because the potatoes can get, you don't want them to release all their starch. You still want starch. If you overcook them, then you just get kind of a watery mess, and you don't really want that. Someone needs to invent a smell app. I agree. Unless you're cooking with fish sauce. Fish sauce is a key ingredient to a lot of Asian cuisine. But if you cook with a lot of it, it's a very pungent, very, very strong odor. I mean, that's really the only way to explain it, is an odor. Alright, I think these guys are looking good, so we're just going to load these up. On our tray and start working on the rest of the chicken. As you can tell, nice golden brown. Alright, let's get our thighs in there. Be very careful not to put your hands in the oil. I've done it. It sucks. It hurts. It burns. There was one time I was tempura frying shrimp, and the tempura batter had fried to my gloves. Like, I'd basically coated my gloves in tempura and was basically frying my finger, but I didn't know it because I had a casing of tempura batter around it. It's kind of freaky. Know all about fish sauce. Yeah, no, fish sauce, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're gonna make pho or anything like that, you know, fish sauce is a must. You have to use fish sauce, otherwise your broth isn't going to taste right. But holy shit, like, it's kind of one of those things where, like, you pull it out only when you have to. Or at least that's how I feel about it. Alright, our potatoes are just being stubborn right now. I don't know if you can tell or not, but you can I can see that everything's just kind of sitting on the bottom right now. A good indicator when you're frying stuff, it's ready when it actually floats to the surface and just kind of hangs out. Now, especially with the chicken, that doesn't mean that it's going to be cooked all the way. So we're, like I said, we're throwing it in the oven. We're going to finish it in the oven. J Squared, how was living in Hawaii? That's a place I've always wanted to visit. I've never had the money to visit, and I would absolutely love to see. But Does it live up to the hype? Is it worth checking out? Oh yeah. Oh, that smells good. We're just gonna flip some stuff around, make sure that everything's kind of cooking evenly. That way nothing on the bottom's getting, you know, super burnt or anything like that. Oh yeah, I mean that's how it is with any place. Like you don't really want to check out all the touristy shit. Like as fun as the touristy shit is, like, you know, you want to know what the locals do because they know where all the good shit's at. You know, the best restaurants, like the real, like, I'm not a fan of like sitting down and doing like 3-course, 4-course, that type of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, it has its place, but like, give me a good dive bar with the best, you know, best food in town. All right, we're there on our potatoes. Potatoes are ready. Snatch these up, strain them out. Now I'm going to let the potatoes strain for a minute. I'm going to let a lot of that excess water and everything flow out of there. Don't really want it, so we're just going to get it out of there. If you don't let them drain enough, then, you know, your mashed potatoes are just going to be, they're going to be watery, and, you know, they're not going to be, you're not going to have a good time. We'll let those keep going for another minute. See, that's what I liked about growing up on the coast. So I grew up just north of Seattle on the bay, and you could literally go out in like a little, you know, backboard motor, little dinghy boat and set crab pots and get dungees. And you just go home, cook them up right on the grill, and it's, I mean, I don't eat a lot of seafood out here because, like, that's what I grew up with. I grew up right on the ocean and ate, you know, the real deal. So I know 100% what you're talking about there. I was fishing off a bridge right where a creek ran into the bay. And it was the salmon run, so we were salmon fishing. And I threw out, reeled up, and I was like, Dad, I caught a fish! And my dad just starts laughing his ass off, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean I caught it? Like, what's going on? And he's like, just keep reeling, just keep reeling. And so I reeled it in, reeled it in, reeled it in. I had a fucking dungy crab just like locked onto my lure. And I like legitimately caught a crab with a fishing pole. Some lady somewhere out there has a picture of me as a little kid. And yeah, I legit caught a crab with a salmon pole. No farting in the smell app. I'm down for the smell app, but there's no farting in the smell app. Oh, just look at it. It's looking so good. All right, let's get the breasts in there. All right, now we're done with the cutting board. We're just gonna set this over here for now. And like I said, every time you got raw chicken or anything like that, you know, always sanitize. Always sanitize. We're done with this. So we're just gonna sanitize this. We're gonna nice hot water, soapy sponge, just really get in there, clean it up. All right, we're getting there. We are getting there. All right, what I think I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna go ahead and pull this over here. Like I said, this was my present to myself. Unfortunately, I just don't have that much counter space over here. But we're gonna try and make this happen anyway. We're just going to take our potatoes, throw them right in here. Whoa! They're still hot. They're still very hot. All right, now I'm going to start, if you're using sticks, if you got sticks like this, I'm going to start off with one stick. You don't got to worry about it being cold or room temp. Room temp's probably a little better, but honestly, the potatoes are so hot, it's just going to melt it anyway. So I'm starting off with a 1/4 cup of butter, or butter-like substance. And then I'm going to grab my sour cream. Bust into this. And I'm going to give it like 3-4 heaping spoonfuls. Now personally, I mean, you can use cream, you can use milk, you can use whatever you want. Personally, I think using sour cream makes the best potato. Obviously, when you do baked potatoes, you put sour cream on it, so why wouldn't you use it in mashed potatoes? Now, before I start this, I'm going to give everyone a second. If you're listening in on headphones, then I would take the headphones out or turn your volume down, because this thing is loud as shit. So with the delay, like I said, I'm going to give it a minute, and then I'm going to hit start. JL, I don't know if you missed it, but if you're listening on the headphones, I would take your headphones off or turn your volume down. Like I said, I'm gonna hit power, and it's noisy. So, all right, everybody, 3, 2, 1. Give it a look, check consistency. Not bad. I'm gonna hit it with some salt. I already have the noise gate set. I don't want to mess with it right now. I'm being very uncourteous to you guys right now. One more time. All right. In fairness, I did admit a warning. Next time I probably won't move it over here. I'll probably have it over there, so it'll sound semi-normal. It won't sound too crazy. All right. And since those are out, we're gonna just dip these right in the oven. Make sure they get to temp. Gonna kill the heat on the oil. All right. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna make a roux, which is a thickener, and then we're gonna make some gravy. So I'm going to turn that on medium heat. Are we going to get JL a lapel mic? I do have condenser mics and stuff like that. I actually, one of my hobbies is music, and I do have like studio mics. I haven't really felt the need to pull them out yet. At some point I might though. Like I said, this is hot. We're just going to kind of move this off to the side for right now. Don't necessarily want that much butter. I have a mic on a stick, it works well. Yeah, I have mic stands, and I have, like I said, I have like condenser mics. I haven't really set them up or messed with them in OBS yet. And just this is a real nice, light, fluffy potato. So I'm actually going to transfer this I had a pan. Alrighty, we're melting down our butter for our roux. Don't quite need that much, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some saran wrap, throw it over this to kind of help keep the heat in. Move this back over to its home. Blue screen, lame. Did something go blue screen? Is everything okay, J squared? Are we okay? Everything's still coming through? What, your computer blue screened last night? Alright, you had me worried there for a second. Alright, so now we're going to make a roux. And this is probably the most traditional method of thickening. So we got our butter. We're going to add some flour. And we're just going to stir this in. And this is probably the world's tiniest little whisk. See, we were just talking about how nice a guy JL was, and now it's everything's his fault. And so as you see, we're making this really kind of thick paste almost. And we're cooking the starch and emulsifying the oil in with it. And then we're going to add our chicken stock to it. And it's going to thicken it. And it's going to turn it into a gravy. And this is still a wee bit loose. A little more loose than I'd like, so I'm going to add just a little bit more flour to it. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And now you can do roux several different ways. You can not cook it as much as I'm cooking it and do a lighter roux, or you can do a darker roux and just let it cook and kind of brown up. And that's what we're going to do right here, is we're going to make kind of a darker roux. You see it's just bubbling. We're going to let that keep going. I'm going to hit this with a little bit of salt. Remember, seasoning is your friend. And that's where gravy comes from. Damn, shots fired in chat. Shots fired. You guys are going to have to come together over some fried chicken. Alright, now I'm going to hit this with some of the, this is just a mixture of 24 herbs and spices. We're going to see how this plays out into a gravy. It smells pretty delicious, so I'm thinking it's going to be okay. Like I said, cooking is all about experimenting. Alright, now what I'm doing here is I'm just going to hold this. I'm going to move this over. I'm holding my strainer over this, and I'm just going to dip in. And I'm going to start pouring stock into this pan. And then we're going to start whisking that roux. And as you can see, it's really starting to thicken up that stock. Because, I mean, that stock really is just water. The only thing in there is water. Really. You're just getting the essence of all the vegetables and the chicken, really. You're just, you know. Alright, so that's a wee bit thick yet. So we're going to ladle some more stock in there. And we're just going to keep mixing until everything's nice and incorporated. Like, that's the key. You don't want any lumps. You don't want anything like that. You just want to make sure you're cooking everything down until it's nice and incorporated. We're just going to let this kind of cook down. Give it a little finger test real quick. It's tasting good. Definitely needs some more salt. I'm going to hit that with just a little garlic powder, just for flavor. We're going to hit it with some more of this stuff right here. Getting closer. Definitely still needs a little bit more salt. I'm going to hit it with just a little bit more garlic powder. Now you can use fresh garlic if you want. I forgot to grab garlic, so I'm just using garlic powder. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm going to turn the heat down on this down. And we're just going to let that simmer. As you can see, we're getting a really nice consistency. It's a little jelly, but that's just because of the gluten-free flour. With regular flour, it doesn't look like this. You know, it's way nicer, way smoother. Like I said, we make exceptions in this household. Creamy message sauce. You know what'd be really funny is if JL just came over here and like busted through my back door just to smell everything. No, I don't have to re-season. The key to it is to not use anything abrasive or anything like that. The whole point of cast iron is to let cast iron kind of, you know, soak up all those flavors, everything that you cook in the pan. So a lot of the times you just wipe out a cast iron pan, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. You just let, you know, you wipe out the bacon grease, you wipe out, you know, whatever you were in, whatever was in there. Just some elbow grease, make it look all nice. I usually, like, if I do have to, like, get in there, I always re-season with oil, but that's about it. Sorry about that, my cat wandered back in. Alright, we're going to temp our chicken now to see where it's at. Like I said, careful, don't burn yourself. Burning yourself sucks. Like I said, this is the handiest gadget you can have. Remember, chicken's got to be at 165. Otherwise, you'll get the salmonella. You don't want none of that, Dewey. You see, I'm temping the breasts first because that's the biggest, thickest parts. And those are the ones that are going to take the longest. So, we're not quite there yet. We're going to stick it back in the oven for probably another 10 minutes or so. And then we'll be eating fried chicken.
Where's the cam? That one? That's the down cam.
That's the down cam. And then...
cool. Wait. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Guest appearance.
Wait, where's the other cam?
Right there.
Right here?
Yep. Guest appearance! We weren't bullshitting when we said we were neighbors.
Oh man, that smells so good. So, how long does this take?
Normally?
Yeah.
It's probably about an hour, 2 hours.
Cool. Nice. Seems like, I don't know, I just would have thought that a recipe that involved like making a gravy and stuff from like reducing like the stock and all that would take longer.
No, well, I mean, like I said, more traditionally, you let the stock go. You would let it go overnight, like in a kitchen.
Okay.
Like you'd let it go overnight, but like, ain't nobody got time for that shit at home.
Right. So this is like the how to do it quick and dirty kind of.
Exactly.
Nice.
This is the quick
Awesome.
and dirty.
I appreciate that. I think that's awesome.
But here, just
What?
smell that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like I said, we're not quite there on the chicken breast yet, so we're gonna let that go for another few minutes.
All right.
But then,
Speaking of chicken, I have to texture my Minecraft chickens. So
yeah.
yeah, J Squared and I are working on Rendario in Minecraft. So we're calling it Minecog. Is that for tasting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. Mmm. Fuck yeah.
Lindsay says, "Tell us in detail."
Deep fryers on Amazon. Yeah, you just gotta be careful with those. Tell us in detail. No, you just have to come over and try it. Everyone in chat.
Now you got me looking at deep fryers on Amazon for my great fried chicken adventure. So the one thing I will say,
helicopters.
The one thing I will say.
Oh. Whoa,
the one thing I will say about like fry daddies and stuff like that, a lot of them aren't that big, so you can't fit whole pieces of chicken in them. You can definitely fit like chicken tenders and stuff like that in there, but I would definitely just make sure that it's big enough. You want it at least like the actual fry basket to be at least 6 to 8 inches by like at least 4 inches.
And don't cook frozen bone-in chicken.
Yeah, and don't cook frozen chicken.
Because the bones will explode and it will create a grease fire. It's very bad.
Yes. And then while we're waiting for the chicken, like I said, clean as you go.
Clean as you go. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's awesome. You're an 8. I see how you have it all set up now. Nice.
Yeah, it's
effective.
I mean, it's not the prettiest. I don't have the prettiest setup, but it's effective. It does what it's supposed to do.
I figured you were going to shoot from this way. Like one here, seeing you profile, and then one here. But
nope.
That way, as you walk away and walk back, you're still on camera. That's kind of cool.
Well, and then this way, like, you can actually see the knife work.
Camera. Oh, man.
That would just be crazy. I don't know, chat, what do you think? Do you think 3 cameras? 2 cameras?
I mean, there's space in your layout for a third camera here. You could put your chat here and your recipe there.
That is true.
Just see how this goes for a while
Right.
before getting another camera. Anyway, this is awesome. It smells great. The mashed potatoes taste freaking like god level good. Everything smells delicious.
You're right, J squared. I would have to power a third. I think if I did want a third one, I would have to get one that's not the same model. I have two that are the same model, and it's kind of confusing to my computer sometimes.
Yep. Get like a 615 or something simple.
Right. A third one would be nice in the oven. Yeah, for sure. I think
in the oven.
If I do add any more, I will have to add a PCI card with USB. Right now, I pretty much have just about all of my USBs, 3s, 2s, 3.1s, all that stuff taken up. I do have an audio interface. Like I said, I have, kind of a home studio set up. And so I have like an iLock and stuff like that, external drives. So if I wanted to do that, I would definitely have to spring for another PCIe card.
Well, thanks for that taste of taters and the smell and the freaking tangerine LaCroix.
Tangerine LaCroix. You come to my house and you get LaCroix.
Yeah, dude. I gotta go get back to texturing my chicken, but
Texture that chicken.
you cook your chicken, I'll texture mine.
I will. What'd be really funny is to do a side-by-side stream one night.
So is that actually taking flavor from the veggies down into the gravy? Is that the cool?
Well, that and you just that this way you don't get big bits of vegetables and shit
Oh,
all
okay.
in your gravy.
Okay. Nice.
Cool. Just add a little more stock to that. Thank you, JL, for the guest appearance.
Thank you, Eggman. You're awesome.
We should it'd be really fun to do like a dual stream.
Yeah.
And then have you draw food while I cook food.
I'd have to. One of us would have to transport our computer to the other person's house, or just doing the same thing. You mean like?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably need you to cook it first, so I could see what it's supposed to look like, and then I could draw it while you're cooking it. That'd be cool.
I could take pictures. I can make it like a week in advance.
Yeah. And then remake it, obviously.
Yeah, and then remake it for the stream.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds like a cool idea. What
All
do you
right.
guys think? Good idea? Yeah.
Good idea. Chat. Yes. No. J Square's just laughing at us.
Lol. He's laughing out loud. Did he really laugh out loud though? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
There's no way to know.
There's no knowing.
I want in on the food drawing. Can we make a
triple threat?
Yeah. Three-way stream be.
I don't know. How J Squared, I need you to look into this.
Oh, Missy. Why you gotta be underfoot, cat?
Because that's how she rolls.
Alright guys, I'll catch you later.
See you, sir.
Should I let her out?
Yeah, this is fine. Lindsay Lag wants in on food, period. JL, have you cooked your lady dinner?
No, I think my mom is doing that
Okay.
today. See you later.
There are ways. That would be super fun to do. Just do like a three-way stream between the three of us. Because I honestly think you and JL are talented enough. Like, your guys' art is fucking amazing. I really want to see what looks better, the live food or the illustrated food by you and JL. Alright, let's check this chicken. $165. 165. We are golden. The chicken is safe to eat. Safety chicken. I don't know who that weirdo was. Some weirdo just literally just walked into my house and was just like, hey, let me taste your food. And I was like, alright. Alright, I guess so. I guess you can do that. His name was J-Hole Drac Hole. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you come to my house, you're gonna get a LaCroix. I'm just saying. They're tasty beverages. I'm trying not to do sugar or soda or anything like that. So, there you go. All right. Just real quick, I'm gonna break into this. Just look at it. Just look at it. This is one of the chicken tenders. We're just gonna break that open real quick. Oh, it's still nice and juicy. Oh God. Super hot though. I'm gonna give that a second. Now comes the point in the stream that everybody wishes they had a part in. Or at least I'm assuming. Let's scoop up some of our gravy. And there you go. Mashed potatoes, fried chicken. Actually, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going to set this down real quick. I am going to go feed Cakes Riley. Damn, booties everywhere! Who's got the booty emotes? Are those your emotes, J Squared? With oil and an oil container on the way. Thanks. Thanks. Well, you know, sometimes, you just gotta hop on that Amazon. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Alright, I'm gonna give it a taste test. I broke off one of the chicken tenders. That definitely doesn't suck. Now I'm gonna get a little greedy. Throw some of that gravy on there. Try not to burn the shit out of your hands with hot gravy. Draws the pin up. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. I'm also gonna have to probably try and talk JL Draco into making me some booty emotes. JL, if I bring you a piece of chicken, will you make me an emote? Is that a fair trade? Let me know. Let me know if that's a fair trade. Bootylicious. You know what they say about Montana, JL, and I don't know if Montana's changed you at all, but they do say that Montana is where the men are men and the sheep are scared. So if you're making bootylicious sheep, I'm kind of wondering if maybe you're taking to Montana more so than what I thought. Like, am I going to go over to your house and find Velcro gloves? Okay, picking coming. Does J Squared have the I'm gonna go ahead and make myself a plate now. I'm kind of funny sometimes. I'm feeling good tonight. I feel like I'm doing good. What do I want? What do I want? I definitely want a thigh. I want a thigh and a wing. I'm gonna do a thigh and a wing tonight. The wolf ate the sheep. Well, alright guys. I have made myself a plate of food. I kind of want to eat the food. I don't want to waste your guys' time by just sitting here eating and making you guys super jelly. But hold on, J Squared posted. Dang, look at that sheep booty. Everybody check out that link. That is some bootylicious sheep. That is some bootylicious sheep. Well, alright guys, I'm gonna eat some dinner. I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Stinky, I'm sorry I inspired you to those sheep would be so scared in Montana. I'm sorry I inspired you to spend $70 on Amazon tonight. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. If it gets you doing stuff that you want to do, then I'm all about it. Sometimes you just gotta bite that bullet. Alright guys, I'm super cereal right now. I didn't eat breakfast or lunch. And this is like, just look at it. Just look at it. Mashed potatoes and gravy on a piece of chicken. And I'm gonna eat it. Alright guys, good night. Like I said, hit the Discord. I'm gonna put the grocery list on Discord hopefully midweek. So you have a chance to see what's going to be happening next Sunday. And then if you want, you can cook along. Or you can just hang out, make jokes, have fun. Tonight was super fun. Thanks, you guys. I think this was the best stream yet. I really appreciate it. You guys have a good rest of the night, and I am out.